Welcome back to Taiwan Now Look. We've been talking about craniofacial patients in Taiwan and in other countries and how the Nodal Craniofacial Foundation has been helping those people. Ms. Wang, we've been talking about your works in the past few years. As you mentioned, the foundation was established almost 18 years ago. Now you're coming to your 20th. What are your mission that you are hoping to achieve in the years ahead?
Yeah, I think we will follow this philosophy and expanding just our services, just train more seed doctors. Just like I think just in the mainland China and India, Indonesia, so there are many patients there. There are many carpal patients there. So we can help just the Asia area to set up maybe 100 craniofacial centers. Yeah, and ultimate goal is that those centers, they can have their own foundation, just copy the model of Taiwan.
Are you also hoping to set up your branch offices in other countries?
No, not really, but I think they can they can provide us services. How to say that?
Yeah.
就是说当地人帮助当地人。
local people to help the local people.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, you need to train more surgeons and doctors to help, or even social workers to help the local people. But apparently, you have only very limited resources. Is there any more innovative ways that we can help more people? For instance, through the high tech, such as internet and things like that.
I think the society, as we talked about previously, it comes with a certain level of development. You become aware of different things and you become concerned of different things. As Taiwan, as Rebecca mentioned, just actually very short history. Very few years ago, Taiwan was not very much developed country. And
it's a recipient country as well.
I wouldn't say so.
Before the 1970s,
yes,
Taiwan was a recipient country.
Yes, but I mean, within this short period of time, Taiwan is offering help.
That's
and
right.
actually, the people in Taiwan become more aware of international projects and more help. So they start to contribute. And I think the sharing in Asia is very deep in the culture. And it's with the higher economical status, this will let open, and I think there is a huge potential for the future growth of such kind of services.
As you mentioned that there are some countries or some areas that you're hoping to devote more resources in the future, such as China and India as well. Speaking of China, from your experience of working in China, do you find any difficulties, in cooperating with the local authorities? Because, as you know, there's very tight control by the local authorities.
Yeah, and at the first time we met them, I mean the doctors or the surgeons from mainland China, they were the top one in mainland China, so they're so proud.
Yeah.
So they don't
want to get help from
they don't say hello to us. But now it's different. just this year it's just kind of change because we just cooperate with the second ranking hospital, and those seed doctors just go back to China and just did a good job.
So we're also training mainland Chinese doctors in Taiwan?
Yes.
Do you have a chance of interacting with those mainland Chinese doctors?
Yes, a little bit, because I've been staying in Chang'an team, so I met a few doctors from mainland China. I had a chance. It was very little, mainly due to the language barrier, I would say. But as Rebecca mentioned very correctly, if you go somewhere and you do the very good job, there is no comment on that. Whether you like it or don't like it, you need to accept it.
That's right.
So if you do excellent job, there is.
So your past performance is the key to your success in the future.
Is the key.
Yeah, but the thing is, there are other NGOs competing a very limited amount of resources in our society or in the international community as well. So with the booming NGOs focusing on different humanitarian issues, do you feel somewhat threatened by other NGOs in competing for resources?
Yeah, I think so. But I think if you just did a good job,
yeah,
you can attract resources. Just quite aware.
That's right.
Yeah, it's just one of my donors, and he just came and just donate. Every year he donate how much?
$2 million
NT
Okay.
dollars. And actually, he asked the guard to say which NGO he could donate.
So God gave him
God bless us.
Well, very good. But are you also very actively raising the fund for your foundation? Fundraising activities by your foundation?
Yeah, but in Taiwan it's quite difficult.
That's
just
right.
just raise fund for the inner Taiwan program. It's easy, but it's very difficult to raise the fund for the foreign programs. Yeah.
But speaking of this kind of training for the sea doctors, do you pay all the fees, all the cost for those doctors, or the local hospitals or universities also cover some costs?
Usually the local authorities have no budget for such a.
So it's very costly to bring those sea doctors to come to Taiwan.
It's very costly, but I think the end result will pay back.
That's right.
I will go back 9 years again, and I was very young doctor at that time. I'm not saying that I'm experienced, but I was very young that time, and with the basic, with the basic knowledge and with the basic equipment, 2 doctors in 1 year helped 20,000 people.
That's very cost effective.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So if actually foundation trains 1 doctor, how many patients that doctor during his lifetime or during his practice or during his active surgical time going to treat, and how many doctors the doctor can train, and how many doctors these doctors can train.
Curious question.
So,
have you ever calculated how many patients through your help, have been helping the patients and the doctors and so on?
Yeah, just in the domestic program in Taiwan, we almost to provide financial aid for to
20,000 families or patients?
20,000 patients. Yeah, and we provide 50 craft missions, and help we provide free surgeries, almost 1,200.
I see.
Yeah, and the sea doctors and sea personnel, we already train 80.
80 already? From how many countries?
11 countries.
11 countries. All mainly in Asian countries?
Yeah, mainly most of sea doctors is from China, because I think the language
barriers is lower.
Yeah.
Okay. But as you mentioned that it's very good to invest in helping to train the doctors from other countries. But there are always language barriers, cultural barriers when they come to Taiwan. From your experience, is it that hard to get training in Taiwan?
Of course. For me, it was not that difficult. I fell in love with the country.
Because you're very international, right?
I fell in the country. I honestly can say I fell in love with the country. So for me, it was quite easy. But I can understand for coming from the different background can be very frustrating and very difficult. So actually, that's another part when you mentioned the local cooperation with the local NGOs is very crucial for the success of the project. Because if you don't have the local support and some local guide to explain to you many things, you might fail for this reason. The communication, probably after the teamwork, is the second most important thing, I would say.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Bocha, and thank you very much, Rebecca Wang. Thank you for coming to the program.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for work for those patients. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for watching Taiwan Outlook, and see you next time.